I didn't.
Ready?
What are we
Welcome,
doing?
listeners, to another episode of Tale of Two Hygienists. My name is Andrew, and I'm with Michelle. And hi, Michelle.
And I guess we're just
It's
winging it
started.
this time. We're just gonna
We
wing it.
are winging it
All right, I'm down.
because, hold on. Well, first of all, listeners, we're still on hiatus. This doesn't count. The next three episodes they count, but they don't count.
Is it 3?
Yeah, we'll break this one up into three.
All right.
We recorded for over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's happening.
Okay.
I'm very hoarse today.
Why is that, you party
Very hoarse.
animal? Tell us. Tell all the listeners.
Yeah, well, I will tell you about my party animaling, except for, did you just spit on the,
No. Do I
you
look
didn't.
grainy?
You always look rainy.
Okay. I didn't say pasty, as if I look grainy. Pasty, I
No,
know.
I am the pasty one in
You
this
are.
relationship. I
You
am
are.
pasty. Okay, so first of all, listeners, this is what's coming up the next 3 weeks. Daniel and Michelle went to Uganda,
Woohoo.
and so we talked a couple weeks ago, about their trip, and up being like 2 hours long. And so we're going to break it up over two, probably three episodes, kind of keep you guys around to just let you know that we're still here. But while we still do some editing and some fixing up of our podcast, we want to make it more professional-ish.
Ish. I'm still
I
here,
want to make it
so
more
it can only be
professional-ish.
so professional. We're gonna make
But
it
we are
sound
in
very produced.
yeah, better produced for sure.
Better
We have
produced.
one of our listeners, actually a couple of them, who have submitted some things that we're trying to review so we can try and incorporate their awesome voices into our podcast so you don't have to listen to us in your ears all the time. Oh, and you know what else we need to tell listeners is
Hmm.
about our very exciting um, event happening in January.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should do
Yeah.
that since I'm just showing up. I don't even really know what's
Okay.
happening.
Okay. Well, and a lot of the thing that we made up all the decision stuff while you were gone. You just submitted your bio for this. Anyways, listeners, go to voicesofdentistry.com and just go look at it. So, first things first, we're having um, oh my gosh, a summit, I think is what they're calling it.
Mm.
It's a conference or convention. You're going to get CE and all this stuff too, but it is all dental podcasters. It's freaking amazing.
So it's like if you listen to all the Diddle podcasts, like meeting a star and getting CE at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I was listening to, so Alan Mead, everyone knows that he's one of our favorites. Great podcast. Jason Lipscomb and Sean Vandeviver, and I believe Mark Costas is I think those four are kind of heading this thing up. And they have decided that why not bring their talents and abilities all into one place. So like Mark Costas is really famous for the business side of dental podcasting. All right, just like explaining to everyone how you should run your business more effectively and make money. And so that's kind of the stuff that he's going to bring to the table. So he's going to bring it in his own little crew. We have the Accidental Genius boys are going to be
Boys.
there as well. They're going to bring men.
No,
Depends
thought
on
it
what
was
episode you listen to,
yeah.
I think, actually.
That's
Yeah. So,
and so true.
but it's also going to be a pretty wide range of things. So, Dr. Russell Kirk is going to be there, and he is an oral surgeon, I believe, oral maxillofacial surgeon. Can't remember where he's at. I want to say he's from the South somewhere, Tennessee maybe. Anyways, he'll be there, and so he has his whole thing of what he's going to be talking about. Anyways, it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. How many people are going to be there? Do you know? Did you count?
I,
Dr. Saeed's going to be there. Malali's going to be there. Moody's going to be
Austin.
there.
Wrong
Austin's going to
person.
be there. Oh, Tarun's going to be there. Agarwal.
And his
Um,
sleep apnea stuff is pretty cool.
Takis. Oh yeah, yeah. And I like those videos that they've been doing lately. They've been doing a lot of Facebook Live stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Takis is going to be there. Did you know that?
No, that's cool.
So yeah, he's one of your favorite people that you always talk about.
Because I get his
Um,
name of his podcast wrong.
every time. Anyways, and then we'll be there. We're going to be the only hygiene team
Yeah.
there, which is awesome. But
Hopefully we
anyways,
can
come.
represent well.
I know. That's what I told him. I was like, I hope so. But
Um,
you'll get CE, you'll get fed, and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff
And
too.
it's in
Just look.
Nashville. And
Oh, it's
Nashville
in Nashville, yeah.
is awesome.
And
But it's in
what are we
January.
gonna
I've never
do?
been there in January. We're gonna go
Is
to a
that
lot of
bad?
honky tonks.
I don't know what that means, but
What?
um, a honky tonk.
You need to learn
It
to love some
reminds me of
country
like the
music.
trunk of a car for some reason.
What?
Honky tonk. I don't know. You know what? Let's not talk about that because I don't want to get reamed by our listeners.
Because that's
But
you're nowhere near understanding Southerners.
right. Dude, we should have a whole like episode about weird things that Southerners say that I don't understand.
Don't even start Pacific Northwest, and you're
We probably
Mormon.
could
You're
because
like double
I
hitting
think
it.
the dental guys, Wes and John, right? They have a podcast. They're Southern. I feel like almost everyone here is like Southern. That's going to this little podcast convention.
No, I'm Allen's in
It's
what,
a lot
Michigan?
though. Yeah, Alan doesn't count though.
Yeah.
He does count. I mean, he counts a lot,
Mike
but
Vitola
I feel like
is
there's a good majority.
California. Well, he'll be North Carolina by that time, I think.
See, he's adopted basically.
Into the worst state of it all,
Dr. Saeed
too.
is North Carolina as well, and um, Moody. I can't tell where Moody. I think he's from South Dakota or something. No, but it sounds like he's got some Southern in him. But I don't
No,
know.
no.
Anyways, that's what's going on in January. So go to voicesofdentistry.com. It's going to be great. You're going to hear this pitch a lot, so get used to it now, our
Yeah.
friends and listeners. Yeah.
Guess what else happened this weekend? I am going to be speaking at Smiles at Sea.
You are. That is going to be really fun.
Yeah, at 7 a.m. Lord help me.
I don't know.
There's like a delay there because no one's
No,
going to show
well,
up
I
at
just like,
7 a.m.
I mean, like, yeah, people are not, but that's maybe a good thing too. I've always liked to be on the early speaking docket. Like in Vegas, I was like happy to speak in the morning because
God,
like no
no.
one's
The
gonna
last
show up.
show that I did that was in Vegas and I had like an 8:30 thing. I mean, like half the people showed up. And the guys that ran the show, they're like, I just don't understand. I was like, you made a show begin at 8:30 in Vegas. It doesn't happen
Yeah,
any other show. Like that's stupid. I don't know what that was. That just happened.
that was a wink to my wife because she's
Oh.
hot. Anyways, I'm keeping
Hi,
that podcast too.
Allison.
Michelle and all our listeners say hi, Allison. She says hi, listeners and Michelle.
Um,
Okay, so Smiles to See is going to be great,
yeah.
especially more now because you're speaking. What are you speaking on?
Implant maintenance.
Great.
So you can learn all you ever wanted to know about implants, Andrew.
I will actually go to that because it is quickly becoming something that I'm very engaged in and involved in, and I'm
Good.
loving it. I still don't see enough cases though to really like feel like I could be,
Are you just
I
not,
don't
is your
know.
office just not restoring many implants or nobody in your corporate office places them?
No, we do. No, we have specialists in our office that place them, and
So how are
that's
you
our
not
very,
seeing
very
them?
number one tooth replacement option for patients. But the patients, I think it's just the area still that there's just not a lot of people that are opting for that
Ah,
cost.
interesting.
Still, they're not. Yeah. And I just don't know. I mean, because we always offer that is our number one. We tell everyone every single time. They're like, "Oh, we should have a bridge." I'm like, "Yeah, but a bridge is not your best option, especially on these virgin teeth right next to that tooth that had to come out."
Yeah.
Why would you desecrate these teeth adjacent just to,
What is their,
put this
where's their
bridge on?
pushback then?
It's
It's just
financials. It's almost always
finance?
financials.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
are
it's still in our area for a good one. I mean, because you can always do the, $750 ones, and
hmm
you just don't know the type of people that are doing them, and you don't know what kind of implants they are. And so we don't refer people to a special, like a specific person outside of our company. So if they're going to be in with our company, I think it's about or something like that for the implant and the crown.
Oh, that's so cheap.
That's what we say. But
So, but then how much is a bridge? 3 unit
oh,
bridge.
it's I can't speak to I probably can't say it on air, but it
Uh,
is very inexpensive. The range, because we are managed care, we can kind of control the costs and things like that. The range is probably going to be for a 3 unit bridge between and maybe up to $1,000 total out of pocket for them. Yeah, it's really good. Like we have really good insurance. Like we really take care of our patients.
wow. Do you see
But
my
that's
mouth literally
that's
dropped
their
open?
alternative though too.
But
But
how
again,
long
this
is
is
that
managed
bridge?
care,
Yeah, I guess so. That's just so
so it's
strange.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
But
almost like the
we
managed
really
care is not allowing the patient to make the best decision for themselves.
no. I mean, because we still push that. We tell them. I mean, we're very very upfront. I mean, financially,
No,
yes,
and I
you're
mean,
right.
I guess,
The
no, I don't mean that y'all are
co-pays we
not
restrict it.
not helping them, but it's because it's so inexpensive that
Yeah,
they are not making the better decision for themselves.
right, right.
Preserving the bone would
I
be
mean,
your best decision.
but what are you gonna do? I mean, the the overhead for to fabricate a 3 unit bridge is gonna be a lot less expensive than a decent fabricating of a crown plus a implant.
Well, I
So
guess that
unless you use really
depends on your
crappy cheap
lab and
materials.
yeah, but I mean, if you, I guess it depends on your markup over on your implant and bone and things like that.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
continue on what you were saying.
Anyways,
Smiles at sea
so Smiles at Sea is going to be fantastic, and we're going to have a booth there also.
on that Thursday
We
morning before we
may
bark on
or
our
may not
journey.
have something
Yeah,
there.
we're working on that. I kind of forgotten. It's what
Oh,
happens when I
okay.
travel. Now I just need
Well,
a
we'll
place
try not
to
to
record it.
forget.
Need a
We're
place.
talking about t-shirts. We're gonna okay, everyone. We're gonna have
I'm gonna put
t-shirts
that on my to-do
sometime.
list tomorrow.
Just a Tale Two Hygienist t-shirt. We're not gonna mark them up and try to make a bunch of money on it. It's just something to get the brand out there.
Hmm
So I think it'll be really fun. And oh, you know what else? Speaking of t-shirts,
Hmm.
it's time for a giveaway,
Oh
right? With Andy
yes.
RDH, we hit 1,000 likes on our Facebook page. So thank you, everyone. Tell your friends. Let's get up there. Um,
Yeah, but also tell your friends to listen
oh yeah, tell your friends to listen to.
because after this weekend and after today's shenanigans, we need to be educated as a profession, and a podcast literally are the easiest, cheapest way to do that, to stay informed.
Yeah,
And that's people. We have to step it up as a profession. I'm
yeah,
not even going to treat it like this is like something that you should do. You or maybe you could do. You should be doing it. Like you should not just our podcast. You should be listening to any form of medium that will give you enough knowledge so that you are staying current because I can't handle it anymore. Like
well,
this,
and I like the magazines and stuff, but I mean, let's be honest, like you have to sit down and read them.
right.
Whereas, these podcasts, you just put them in, and then it's like
Yeah.
you get a little Michelle and Andrew in your ears, and
I listen while I do my makeup and my hair, and I listen while I do my chores and driving. Like, People, they gotta start, like, they gotta find a way to become educated because
So
I'm
let's
telling
talk
you.
about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about kind of
Talk
what
about
happened. I
my
don't mind
shell
calling it
is
out.
annoyed again.
Okay. But for good reason, and I have a little tangent I want to take off. Okay, so set it up. What happened first?
What, just today?
Yeah, what today?
Okay,
Let's
so
only talk about today's thing, not the whole everything.
okay, so today, there was a post on RDH magazine of an illustrator, and it was depicting the curvy root surfaces in between teeth and when to choose a interdental brush, floss, or toothpick. And people could not understand, like, one, they had to be like negative Nancy's right out of the gate and like talk crap about this ad, which was giving a free illustrator to people. Like, why even waste your time writing something if you don't have nothing nice to say? Don't say anything at all. I mean, is this not something we were
Okay,
all
hold on, hold
taught?
on. Let's set up better for our listeners just in case they haven't actually seen the ad.
I'm
Okay, so you talked
sorry.
about what it looks like, and okay, so basically the ad was saying um, it was like a free giveaway for this same picture that they could use to talk to their patients, like as a patient education tool,
Right.
right? Okay, and then the very first comment that was made on there wasn't about the product; it was about the drawing,
Right.
about how they didn't understand as a dental professional what the drawing was of.
Oh no, they said
And
something
then,
like, "Why? When in dental anatomy class did we learn
oh
that
yeah,
teeth were the shape
yeah,
of an hourglass?"
yeah.
And I was like,
I was gonna say like week four. I think is when we learned about fluting. I think I'm pretty sure, and like furcations and stuff. I'm pretty sure we
"Oh."
went over all that kind of stuff too.
So, okay, even if you could concede that it is not a perfect anatomy on this
Hmm.
diagram, it still is a simplified way to show patients that teeth are curvy between, especially when you have bone
Hmm.
loss and attachment loss. Underneath that contact point, teeth become extremely curvy, especially as we go into the posterior, starting with the fluting or that mesial root concavity on our first premolars, where
Hmm.
so many people are always bleeding. Like, no matter how much they floss,
I
they
find
always get a
calculus
little
in
bit
there
of,
all the
yeah,
time.
exactly. So this is just showing and helping patients understand that there is a time for floss and there's a time for an interdental brush. And when you hit a curvy root surface, that floss is going to hit the high spots. It's not going to get down into the curvy concavities of a tooth. And
Hmm.
this showed an interdental brush swooping into the curviness and cleaning it out. But
Right.
everyone could not, well, no, I shouldn't say everyone, because by the end of the day, everybody was like, y'all are being ridiculous. This makes complete sense. And there was even a patient that commented on an RDH
Hold
magazine.
on. Shout out to Cody Call.
Oh,
Right. That's who it was.
and he
He
said,
is. He's
like,
actually my friend.
oh, really?
Well, actually, I haven't talked to him since 2004.
Did he just see that
Probably.
you
So it's
commented
been
and
12
then
years. I
commented on
think
that?
so.
That's so
I'm not really
funny.
sure. But shout out to you, Mr. Call, for being awesome. But yeah, he's like, I'm a pay. Okay, okay, so yeah, they're like, I don't understand what I'm looking at. Well, it's like, is it from the side? Is it for the, I'm assuming it's an occlusal view. And a lot of people comment on the occlusal view. And then he's like, yeah, I can tell as a patient that this is from a top down based on what I'm looking at. So he's like, just like calling out all these people that have a problem with the picture. Anyways, so here's my thing about about all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call out those people individually. I mean, because
No,
I think
no.
there's two problems with this. One, people just being mean to be mean,
Right.
right? I see something, I'm going to be mean about it, whatever. Even if they were trying to make a joke about it, they could have maybe come across in a different way. I've made a comment on there, said, I was like, well, obviously it's this, this, and that's what they're trying to get at. Well, someone's like, well, obvious to who? I'm like, well, I don't want to fight you. I want to,
I will.
be
Andrew won't.
open. I won't. No, 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 because I think that everyone needs to be educated, though. But here's kind of my problem. Two things with this. One, honestly, and this is gonna hurt.
No, it's not the
You,
best drawing.
no, it's no, not you. It's not gonna hurt
Oh,
you. I don't care about the drawing. But if you honestly couldn't infer what the message was from that picture. That picture's been around a long time. That's not a new
Hmm.
picture. Okay. If you can't infer that, then you are not as educated and not, and I can understand why your doctor doesn't like you. Like, I know it's because, you know what? Because you don't have deductive reasoning skills. That's what
Right.
that tells me. This is very central to, and you know what? You're probably missing a lot of calculus. You're probably burnishing the crap out of stuff. And so I'm already kind of mad at that thing because I feel like the education level across the board is not the same. And now I get why doctors from different parts of the country, when I talk to them at these board meetings,
They get
why
frustrated
they're
with
like,
hygienists.
yeah, my hygienists are stupid. I'm like, no, they're not. Hygienists are awesome. And then they're like, then we go start getting into stuff, and we start talking, and they're like, wow, how do you know this so much? I'm like, from school. I was taught all this stuff in school. And they're like, yeah, my hygienists don't know that. I'm like, ah, yeah, they do, yeah, they do. But then I see
Hmm.
stuff like this, I'm like, okay, well, obviously maybe it's not the same. Secondly, if we want to have portability, and all these people that complain about why can't I just go from one state to another? Well, this is why.
Yeah.
Because the level of education in certain places is not the same as other places. And I don't know if it's a north, south, east, west, middle of the country, coastal, whatever. I don't really care what it is, but there is definitely a difference. I will tell you right now, I saw my the director at this meeting I was at this weekend from my school. I guarantee she did not think that I was going to be doing the things that I'm doing now. I guarantee she did not think that I was going to be like teaching
Yeah.
and instructing and lecturing
It's
because
because you
I was
slept
stupid.
your way through school.
I
And
was stupid and I slept my way through school. I didn't get good grades. I got very, very poor grades in hygiene school the first year. Second year was better, but not by, a whole much. But I passed all my boards. Like I got the concepts, just maybe not in the way that they wanted me to get them. But I've taken a lot of CE courses since then. I've remembered a lot of things, and then I see them later on. Anyways, that's my whole rant is, you know what? We're not going to have portability of our licenses from one state to another until everyone gets on the same page, and that page is going to be at the very highest standard. We're not going to go to Texas and say, okay, everyone needs to be at the level of Texas where they can't give injections.
well, and I don't
No.
even think it's state to state though. It's still within the state. Like I can get the same I can if, even with okay, South Carolina where we cannot do a lot of the things that you can do in Washington, but I mean, I'm as fully educated in something, not restorative wise, we've all know say that. But I mean, I can continue to get my CEs and I'm continuing to get, but
Yeah.
the next office to me will not have that same level of education. I don't even think it's like from a state to state thing. I think it is a I don't have a desire to continue being educated. I'm getting the bare minimum and I'm just going to show up from work and clock in and clock out and not do any like critical thinking throughout the freaking day. I'm just going to do the bare minimum CE credits and I'm just going to show up. And then I'm going to whine and complain about why my dentist won't give me a raise and why they don't respect me and why hygienists will never progress into their own like to be seen as therapist. That part is what drives me insane. And so I was at a meeting this weekend with Eva Khalil, who was a guest, who is
Shout
awesome.
out to Eva.
We
What's
love
up,
Eva.
Eva?
And
We
at the
love you.
very end of her presentation, she did this video that showed it was just like a very motivational video talking about like just to be that exceptional person, be that clinician that is
Mm,
exceptional. And it only takes just a little bit more to drive yourself in a different direction. So like
yeah.
don't just settle for the basics. Don't settle for what you learned in school. If I hear one more person that says that flossing is the end all be all, I might lose my shit. I'm not even kidding because flossing is great in some instances, but you need to be educated about where this information and this new study that not new, it's actually been a study around for years, but why the media took that like a little bit of information and you need to be so fully informed so when your patient comes to you with this crap that the media said they don't have to clean between their teeth anymore, you can say like this is the research, but you know what, let's have this conversation because maybe flossing is not the best option for you and you need to find the what it is. It could be a water flosser, interdental brushes, on the go options, whatever it is. But but there was more. hygienists out saying, "Oh, I didn't realize that that was a thing," than there were saying, "Oh, yeah, totally. This makes complete sense." And
Yeah.
it's so frustrating, especially for those who don't just want to go in and clock out, and they want to make a difference and they want to see this profession grow because what we do freaking matters. It does.
hmm
We
It really does.
we are therapists, and dentists go for a very long time to dental school to learn to treat problems. And we go to school for a really long time to learn to prevent those problems. And we need to start believing in ourselves and taking that serious, and that we're not just tooth cleaners or scrapers anymore. It's just, it's so frustrating. It really
Well,
is.
listeners, we're sorry that we kind of we're preaching to the choir because if you're listening to this podcast,
It's the same crap
guaranteed you
another
care about our
podcast.
profession. No, they're the people that this is their career and they believe in it and they seek out more than other
The
people
bare
usually do.
minimum.
So yeah, so sorry, listeners, you still get to listen to us rant and rave. So let's talk
Mm.
about some other things maybe that aren't so pissy and grumpy,
Can I
but
just tell you though that after our RDH meeting, and
uh-huh.
after do you remember like the theme was kind of like finding the right vocabulary to be more positive, or like some of,
I remember that they told you that often, yes.
shut up.
A certain Patty DeGangi, I believe. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but
No,
yes,
that's not her at all. And
semantics
actually, did she
matter.
say that?
Yeah, she called you out a couple times, I believe.
What did I say? I don't remember any of that.
Just wait till the episode airs
Oh,
again so you can
Jesus.
remember all of
You
it.
just want to point hers out because she agreed with you, and that is it.
I love her.
Only
Shout
because
out to
she
Patty.
agreed with you. But don't worry,
Yeah,
I got my
because
end that'll
here's the
agree with
thing: when
you.
people agree with me, then they know that they're finally right about stuff,
No, no, no,
and I'm just
no.
like, yeah, well, welcome to the crowd because we've been right for this whole time. So it's been pretty fantastic.
Moving on.
Hey,
I
can I?
okay.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, you tell one thing. I got another thing for you.
So I read a book or listened to a book when I was going to Africa. It was on stoicism and just trying to learn to look at an obstacle, and instead of getting worked up over it, to look at it and just from a more just stoic, like don't let it get you down. Like you can work around it or just approach it not in such an irrational manner.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
I
even
feel like
say
that book
yeah,
was
like
like
you don't do
speaking
it.
to you.
Don't, because
I'm the most level-headed,
you are
not play
so,
off the
so full of
handle,
crap.
regular, cool
You're
person.
so full of crap. I
I
am
am.
definitely a reactor, 100%. We say it all the time on this podcast. So I'm trying not to be a reactor, even though
hmm
I really do think my reaction is usually from a very good place. Like obviously, I feel like my first reaction is usually a good first reaction. And then I try, like, there's one person I have in mind where I was like, yeah, no, that person's awful. And then I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, oh, maybe I overreacted. And now I've kind of come back around to that first impression where I'm like, they're not a good person. I don't like them. So
Hey, but
sometimes
you
I
gave him a
feel
shot.
I did. I feel
That's the
like
important
that first
part.
reaction was a very spot on reaction. I don't know. Continue. What do you want to say?
Don't doubt yourself. Okay, so I want to talk about our Facebook page for a minute. The one that we have over 1,000 likes on now. Thank you, everyone. Um, so we posted that video. Do you remember that video we posted of Autumn Jordan Porter about like she's like if you
Oh
when we
yeah.
tell you to turn your head, look like that.
You
Okay.
turn your
First
eyes.
of all, thank you, Autumn. Shout out to Autumn for letting us post it. I asked her if we could post it, and she said yeah. So thank you for letting us do that. That was a really good video. Um, that one, just from our listeners, our fans, whatever, 2,500 people it saw it or whatever, right? So we posted a few other things, a couple hundred people, a couple hundred people, a couple hundred people. Posted like four or five, was that five, six things? Okay. Then I posted something yesterday that has over 2,000 people that looked at it already, but it's the the Rockstar Horchata energy drink. So you posted like this really cool video about that singing dentist guy,
Oh yeah.
and we did a survey, and all of those just only got like a couple hundred. Why do you think it is that over 2,000 people saw this photo
It's an
and only a couple
excellent
hundred on the
question.
other ones?
I have no idea.
I don't know the answer to it. I think it's just funny because everyone knows how much I love my Rockstar.
Ugh,
Do you know what horchata is? Have you ever heard of that?
no.
Like I think you're not actually supposed to say the H, you're supposed to say horchata, but whatever. It's a drink. Okay, so in Yakima, we had a lot of a huge Hispanic population, and so you go to these little like taco trucks and stuff like that, and they would have most of them would just have like tacos and um, other really cool like Mexican deliciousness. But then there's this other one that had like a fruit drink stand, and one of the drinks that they had was horchata, which is kind of like a milky um, kind of drink. I think it has some nuts and stuff like that in it too, and I think cinnamon either goes on top of it or they put cinnamon sticks
Oh,
in it. It's
is it a
pretty good.
Mexican, like a Mexican drink?
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
milky,
I I believe it is from
yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
I just know that. Anyways, so the the in Kansas City they had this rock star, and I've never seen it anywhere around here. But I was too chicken to try it. I don't know if I like it or not.
Are you still back on that? I mean, you've gone fully back on your Rockstar.
Um, I mean, no, yes and no. I don't know. Not every day. It's not one of those things. It's not like it was, but I feel like I don't I don't seek it out, but I don't mind it anymore. So I'll have
So just
I don't know
give it up.
several a week still.
So I don't understand
Um,
why?
I don't know. Why do people drink coffee?
Because it tastes good.
No, it doesn't.
It does. I love coffee.
Coffee is an acquired taste.
Wait, so remind
Like
me
if
on
you
your
go from there to coffee.
23 and Me, did it say that you could drink more caffeine than the average person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was more higher tolerance or whatever it was. Um, so yeah. So I also tried, just so everyone wants to know this, I'm sure. I tried some amp. I haven't had an amp for like years, probably 2008,
Andrew,
2009. And they have this like the sugar-free kind that is watermelon, and normally I hate the watermelon flavors, but this one was so tolerable, and I felt
tolerable.
great.
It was so
Yeah.
tolerable that I choked it
hmm
down. Like, why
hmm
waste your
hmm
time trying to do
hmm
that? Oh my
hmm
gosh. I don't even
And they
get,
also had like a
that's just,
blueberry grape something one that was delish.
so
So
you are going to be I'm going to shame you on energy drinks, and I shame our buddy Daniel on his sugar intake. That boy loves some sugar. So I'm going to sugar shame him, and I'm going to rock star and shame you.
it's not going to make a difference. I'll tell you
Oh.
that right now.
I like the sodas in Africa were so freaking sweet. I think I took like 3 sips and I was like, bleh. And he's like chugging it down, like could do it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe even in the middle of the day,
So they were different? Like, so it was cane sugar or what? What was the
probably.
difference?
Well,
Yeah.
so my understanding, I met some Coke representative and they said that they manufacture with local like sugar everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like, so in the
Yeah.
US, it's our crap sugar. If you go to Nicaragua, it's the sugar cane. So it's just very sweet, a lot sweeter. But anyway, where are we going with this podcast? So
That's pretty much.
we're going to be
So yeah, we'll
starting
do
the
the
inner.
first part of it.
Okay. So, Daniel and I talk about our trip to Uganda.
All the preparation, Like I think we'll do the preparation and that kind of stuff, and then we'll stop it and make it a cliffhanger. Bum bum bum.
Such a cliffhanger. Well, we survived. We made it back, so not much of a cliffhanger, I guess.
But not fully intact. Well, yeah,
It's
fully
true.
intact.
Fully intact,
It
but
wasn't like
without.
that one guy that I won't give it away, but
Oh, yeah. And
body parts are
that
flying
reminds
across the
me,
room.
you're gonna have to tell me where we shut it off because then I'll post the appropriate pictures that go with stories.
Oh yes, oh yes. Or you
So
can just listen to it and post the pictures. Whatever.
but I was there to witness the interview. Why do I gotta listen to it?
Yeah, we'll see about that. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we cut this
No,
off?
that
I miss you, listeners. Oh,
I was gonna
yes, I
say.
do have something. I have
Mhm.
something to say.
Mhm.
Shout out to Lisa. I think her last name is Barr. Um, so Lisa came to the booth, and we met her at the booth at ADHA. And okay, let me tell you guys a story that's really
At
embarrassing. I'm really
80
sorry.
ADHA or RDH?
ADHA in
Oh, okay.
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and okay, so I think I've said this 1,000 times. I am really bad with names and faces.
Hmm.
I think the only
He
reason,
still
like my
doesn't know
saving
mine.
grace, yeah, I don't. And my only saving grace is that I see people's like Facebook posts, and I can put names and faces get a little bit together. So she came. She's from Wisconsin, just like our buddy Matt. Shout out to Matt. And she came with Ashley, and we had a picture with them, and we
Yep.
posted it.
Hmm.
Anyways, I think we talked mostly to Ashley, but I'm not really for sure. I don't remember how the conversation really went. Anyways, so yeah, I'm sorry that I don't remember everyone, whatever. Well, I saw her at this meeting. So I went to a credits annual meeting, credits the examining agency, and she was there. And I saw her on like the first day. And I'm like, I feel like I've seen her before. She looks really familiar. I'm like, well, maybe I've seen her Facebook or Lighthearted RDH or whatever. I've seen people. Um, and then Sarah Thiel, shout out to Sarah. She was there also because she's an examiner for credits. And
Are you allowed to
so,
be saying that stuff?
yeah, yeah. We just can't say like where, like when we're examining at what place, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, just making sure you
And,
still have jobs.
and because credits is so awesome, I'm pretty sure I can say that too. It is so, like you couldn't like fudge the score if you wanted to. I do have more I can talk about credits because I'm an extremely hard, aggressive grader. We got all of our stats back, and they have everybody on this line of like where you're at, like for detecting calculus, like the second time around, make sure they removed it all. And everyone was like, here, boom, 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 boom. I'm like way over here, and
Like
then
you're
everyone
still
goes back here to
feeling
the
it?
middle. I'm the outlier. Like I said, nope, it's still there. Nope, it's still there. Nope, it's still there. Because it was there. It's just I need to calibrate myself to see like what is minimal competency or whatever. That I'm just like, no, there's still stuff there. I feel stuff. So I
Oh
gotta
man.
I gotta rein that back in. So apparently I'm really mean. But I'll get nicer and better calibrated. Let's put it that way. Anyways, so I saw her the second day too, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that that's her. Um, I'm just gonna go talk to her. It was like a morning thing. Like, oh, and Sarah and I were actually gonna talk to her, and Sarah was gonna like look for a name badge and say, "Hey, do we know you?" I'm like, don't do that. Don't embarrass everybody, because what if we don't know her and whatever. And so then I saw her in the morning, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "You look really familiar." And she's like, "Yeah, we met at ADHA." And I'm like, "I'm really sorry." And I was like, "I think your name's Lisa." And luckily, it was. This one time, I got it right. But then there was another person there from Albuquerque when I went down there and spoke, and I think she's the president of their um, state association, I think. And I didn't recognize her, and but I'm just really sorry. I don't recognize people like ever, ever, ever,
Unless they're
ever. And
Asian, and then you recognize them.
um,
You've said that on the podcast before. You
I don't know if I
see,
have
you,
actually.
you have said that
I
actually.
All white people look alike.
All white
Yes, it's
people look
true.
alike, and you
All white people look
you
alike. I don't
distinguish
know why.
Asian people better.
I want maybe.
What? Oh, you broke
I
up.
don't know. There. Okay. So we went out last night. I went to the Howl at the Moon
Mm-hmm.
in Kansas City, and are you dying?
Me?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Um, and there are two Asians in the band. I bet you I could see them both on the street in like New York City, and I probably still recognize who they were.
It's just
Couldn't
very.
tell you about the other ones.
You were so strange.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
don't
right.
know.
It's all right. Some people
Yeah,
see
it
certain
is weird.
facial structures and features
It,
better.
it's it is a total feature thing. Like that draws my eye. It's like, oh, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry about just anyways. A blanket apology to everyone. So sorry when I don't recognize you,
Hmm.
even though I've met you 5 or 6 times.
Good job, Andrew.
The end.
The end.
Oh,
Um,
of my story, but that could be also the end of this.
well, we should just say that eventually we are going to go back to original or not original, a newer, more structured format. So, story time with Michelle will return eventually, and
Scaling the web with Andrew.
as a
That's
new
gonna be fun.
segment that we're going to have.
As a new
We might
segment
even have a
about just
few
stuff.
guest segments.
Yes, we
So,
will.
and I'm actually really excited
Plan
to
the
start
interview.
launching our RDH interviews because they were so great.
Yes, they're really good. By the time we get a couple of them out, though, we'll be at Smiles at Sea, and we'll have a whole bunch of new great ones for that too. I'm hoping to have Trisha O'Hare back on the program,
Yay, Trisha!
and I would love to have some sort of a round table there with all the people, and we'll finally get Elijah Desmond on the podcast. We've been working on it, people. Don't worry. But I mean, it's just he's a busy man, and we wanted to get in-person interviews, so it sounds awesome. I listened to him on Howard Farran, and it was amazing. He did a really good job explaining all the different companies and stuff that he's had, and kind of his path as a hygienist. So, um, oh, shout out to Josie Sewell, by the way. She was on Howard Farran's podcast a little while ago, and I just listened to the whole entire episode. And it was phenomenal on autism.
I was gonna say, was
And
it on autism?
she is so good. I love Howard, but he kind of rants a little bit, and he's hard to control.
Say
But
it
she did
ain't
a really,
so.
really good job with that, like keeping
Reining him back
him in
in a little
check. And
bit.
even when he had a couple of questions that weren't quite like maybe they're like more like my questions, not journalistic. They're just like a little off tangent or whatever. And she somehow found a way to weave that back into her message, and she is a true professional.
That's
So
awesome. I'll have to listen to
we'll
it.
listen to that one too. Yeah, that was great.
Very good. All right, so we will go back
Okay,
to normal, structured podcasting eventually. So
probably
maybe
3 or 4 weeks is what we're looking at.
yeah, and we'll have
We'll
maybe
do your
less
Uganda stuff for the
tantrum.
next couple of weeks.
Yeah, less tantrums, at least for me.
Well,
Eh.
well,
Well, we'll just shorten the intro enough so I don't have time to lose my mind on a topic that is
well.
currently annoying me. I'm gonna
Let's not
try
make too
to
many
be
promises
I'm
yet.
gonna try to be more stoic, at least in some instances.
All right,
All right,
sure.
guys.
I'll believe when I see it.
All right, Andrew. Let's
All
finish
right.
this up.
Bye, listeners. We love you.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good week.
Hey, can we start this podcast?
Sure.
And
All
All
right.
right.
good, we're
Is this
started. So back up to before the flight and before Daniel was snoring to like your guys' pre. Okay, hold on. Let's go back into the very last podcast where you guys had made
Decided we were
prediction.
going to go.
Yeah. From then until when you got back, I want the whole story. Go.
Until the prophecy is fulfilled.
Yes.
Until the prophecy has been
Wait,
fulfilled.
can I ask though, and this may be edited out.
No editing.
Daniel, are you still having an existential crisis? Or are you kind of back
I
to
wouldn't
normal?
call it a crisis.
I want to talk about
I
that
mean,
too.
you called it a crisis, so I'm just wondering if it's still a crisis or
I was
is
being
it...
melodramatic.
Which I love.
Yeah, that's at the end of the podcast, though.
Okay, I'm just
I already
curious if
asked
it's
we
still
talked about it.
remaining or if it's tapered off and you've come back to reality.
No, it's still there.
Okay. Okay, so after our last podcast, you were going, and so we went. So we met.
And so you had to get,
um,
hold on, tell me about like the shots and the pre-packing.
I didn't
and,
know
like, all that
shots
kind of stuff.
because I had all of mine that lasted like 5 to 10 years. So Daniel could go on that one.
Yeah, I had I had yellow fever, which was awful because it feels like they're injecting magma into your arm. Like I've never yelped at a shot, and I yelped at this.
Oh no!
But I also had to take the typhoid vaccine, which I messed up. Like half the people
Obviously,
did.
you are not vaccinated for typhoid.
Yeah, which only concerned me when I got baby fisted.
We'll explain more later.
Yeah. But, yeah, and then I also had ciprofloxacin for like if I got traveler's diarrhea, which I didn't get any of. So it was all pretty good.
No, so to
I
go to
couldn't
Africa,
vaccinate against
yeah,
you.
there's no vaccine for me. I'm sorry. So to go to Africa, you need yellow fever, and that's good for 10 years. You need typhoid, and if you take oral typhoid vaccination, it's good for 5 years. But you have to be careful with it because it has to be refrigerated, and it has to be within 10 days of malaria meds, which I think are two things that Daniel did not do. Was not
Yeah, I didn't know.
refrigerated. It was not within 10 days.
Yeah, but I didn't refrigerate my typhoid. It turned.
And you have to have, you have to have the other things like tetanus and your, is it DTP? Which I don't remember what that stands for, but you have to have some, whatever that is. You have to have hepatitis B, which obviously all of us as healthcare workers typically have. And hepatitis A, which if you have hepatitis A first shot, and then when you have hepatitis A second shot within 6 months, you're pretty much good for life, like you are hepatitis B. So you have to have those. What else is there?
I would recommend tuberculosis, considering.
Oh yeah, TB. Yeah.
I already had it though, because
Yeah, and I feel like that's a pretty common healthcare provider thing that you should be doing on a routine basis. That's it, right? Rabies? No. That's after the fact. I don't remember. We'll go
That's
on.
after you get bit
We'll go
by
into
something.
more about the bats that lived in our dental clinic that I'm pretty sure had rabies.
bat friends.
So, of that yellow fever, I was reading somewhere, I think it might have been on the website, that you have to have a yellow card.
Oh yeah, it's yellow
Like they
card.
actually check all that.
I pretty much keep mine with my passport, and they check. And I'm doing air quotes when I say they check to see if you have your yellow card. I literally could have cut up a card, like construction paper that was yellow and wrote lines on it, and I think that would have sufficed.
The stamp that they're looking for.
Yeah. But they looked at it briefly.
Yeah. Some guys came in without it, and they took them off to a booth where I think they just gave them the shot right there before they came in.
And I know our medical director kind of was like, listen, I've had it. We're good. And they were like, all right, you're good. So, I guess it depends on who you talk to and how, and if you have money in your pocket too. I think that matters.
Money goes a long way. Trinkets go a long way.
Trinkets go a long way. Yes. Yes. So you have
The art of
So what else did you guys have to
a lot
compare?
of bartering. So we all have our shots. So you get your shots, especially before Africa. And then so Daniel's obviously coming from New York, and I'm coming from Charleston, and we met in D.C. which is really the first place that we've met face to face. It was like, I was walking up and he was walking up and I was like, oh, my best friend that's in front of me. Look at this. It's magical.
Did you hug?
I did. Well, I hugged him. I don't know if it was a hug. Like it was consensual. It was me hugging Daniel. Yes.
I was so nervous around everybody.
Were you?
But mostly because this sounds terrible, but everybody was white, so I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess. Yes, very true. Because the two black girls that we met were already there, so they were not even on the trip, like to go over there with us. Oh, so true.
I was
were.
like, oh my god, I'm the only one.
Minority. I didn't even think about that. But it's also difficult. I mean, when you are joining a team in an airport and you don't even know who you're looking for either. Yeah. I mean, if you had not seen me or if I had not seen you, like that would have been probably a little stressful too, getting to know people.
Imagine.
Especially you, Andrew, since you're such an introvert.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I get like really high social anxiety. And so like somebody,
which is weird because I don't think I didn't really know that about you until we actually met in person as well. I'm like, oh, this is different than online, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm very introverted in person.
Very vocal online.
Not Michelle.
I think I'm the opposite.
You are super opposite.
Yeah, so we met in DC and then embarked upon our, 12-hour, 13-hour flight? Yeah, to Ethiopia. And luckily we were I was one seat ahead of him, like the same row and everything, which was fun. And that's when he took a picture of me in my cocoon. So I took a melatonin and I knocked myself out.
Somehow in the between stage of her larva to adult metamorphosis, she stole my USB wire.
Listen, I don't know how that happened. I woke up and there was this like orangey pink USB wire in my lap and I was like, what is this? Is this, I assumed that somebody had crawled over me to go to the bathroom while I was in my cocoon stage and wasn't moving. And it was neither of the people next to me. So I was like, that's weird. I'm just going to hang that right there. Maybe somebody dropped it on their way to the bathroom. And then he was like, have you seen that USB cord? I was like, this is yours? Like, I've been wondering whose USB cord, how it landed in my lap. That's very interesting.
So, but let me ask you this before, though. So who made your guys' flight arrangements?
The company, One World Health did.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys didn't get to pick your seats then, or they didn't put you all together?
I think they lump us together as much as they possibly can, depending on how full the flight is.
Hmm. And how big was the airplane?
Oh, 777.
Yeah, it was a big plane. And let's talk about our experience with Ethiopian Airlines and the flight attendants and how much food they serve you and how they bother you even if you're sleeping. Daniel doesn't sleep though.
Yeah, they feed you
every 2 hours, but Daniel doesn't sleep.
I sleep strategically. I managed to sleep just enough that I didn't have problems getting to bed in Uganda, and I didn't have problems getting to bed back in the U.S.
That's impressive.
So
nice.
It's something right.
So in Ethiopia Airlines, they feed you about every 2 hours, and they will wake you up regardless of if you have an eye mask and you are in your cocoon. They will wake you up.
So where were you flying from then? So you flew from DC to Ethiopia, and then flew Ethiopia Airlines to Uganda?
Uganda. And that's like a 2-hour flight. I think we had like a 2-hour layover or something in Ethiopia, which is always an eventful airport. So it's very cold. Oh, so cold. And there was a bird.
Cold.
What?
It wasn't that cold. You just have like 2 ounces of blood, and you're.
I think that might be it. I literally might have 2 ounces of blood flowing through my veins, and
I think you're a reptile.
I agree. I think I'm a turtle. I come out and the sun is out, and I bathe in it, and then I go back in. I found it to be freezing. I need to go get my charger for my computer. Anyway, and then we fly to Entebbe, and then we drive. What was it? 5 hours from the airport to the hotel. But first and foremost, we have to get all of our stuff that we've shipped. So the thing that Daniel missed when we were in Charleston is that that's where One World Health is in Charleston with me, and we ship things over like crutches and new stethoscopes, and for me and us in dental, I shipped everything over like so we had 2 dental chairs, aka gravity. Was it no gravity or gravity chairs? Zero gravity chairs, like lawn chairs. Those were our dental chairs. So I shipped those over, and they were like packed with gauze and toothbrushes and our glutaraldehyde. That's our cold sterile. That's how we sterilize instruments and our instruments. And I mean, everything that you think you would need for a dental outreach, we have to ship over. And so I did. I wrote all on those boxes, Jesus saves. Because I was told
and why
that
did you do that?
Less theft with boxes. Because when you go out of the States, especially in countries, and especially certain countries in like Africa, there's less theft when you put Jesus all over it. So I said, Jesus answers prayers. God saves. Jesus saves. God bless you. I put all kinds.
You know, we did that in the Philippines, though,
certain
too.
Countries.
I mean, every time people send stuff, they put stickers of Jesus on there,
everywhere.
or him carrying the little lamb and all that kind of stuff. Crosses, whatever.
If I have to bring a big box next time, I'm going to put like pentagrams and severed goats' heads all over it.
That's probably just.
They won't want to touch it.
I know. It's like I don't know what to think about that. It's like they'd be cursed if they touched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll treat it very carefully.
Hold one moment. I'm gonna get a charger because I don't want my computer to die. I forgot. Sorry.
I don't know how you put up with her for 10 days or whatever it was. Ugh.
Let's see what her degrees are.
I think she has a master's. But I think that Trident Technical College on the right, and then University of Bridgeport, I think, is on the left. I think that's what her master's is. For being an educated person, she should have remembered to bring her charger. I would have plugged it in already. Just saying.
Sorry.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Charger was upstairs. Okay. Continue on with your conversation.
No.
I mean, that was it. I mean, it was just pretty much silence when you were gone.
That.
So we're just like, we'll just cut that part out. So. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so you sent a bunch of stuff over it was ahead of time, or like the same time you guys were flying out? Okay.
And so we get to eat. We get to Entebbe. We find all of our boxes, and then we load them on these. How many passenger vans? Like how many? I don't even remember. How many people got in those vans? 3, 6. There was 4 or 5. 3, 6, 9 people, 12 people go in those vans, right? Each row held 3. Yeah, so you get in these vans,
I think.
And they load the top of them with all of this stuff, all of our luggage, everything, and they cover it with tarps. It's incredibly impressive how they load and pack these vans to keep them from getting wet and dirty. And I mean, because these are very dusty roads, and so they load it up, and that takes some time. And then we embark on our 5-hour journey to Miss Cindy, which is the terrifying. Okay, so I've done this before. So give the world your experience.
So a lot of vehicles here don't have any front. Like the engine is, the vans especially, the engine is like in the undercarriage. And so the traffic
intense.
in Kampala is like is bumper to bumper, and you see your life flash.
We should share your 5-minute video on the Facebook page.
Oh yeah, I have a few of them. But yeah, you just you can't believe that people drive like this. Because I was
on the way there,
in the passenger seat. I wasn't in the back.
Right.
On that first drive through. Yeah. So it was mortifying. But it's a really lively, fun.
It really is. I mean,
to drive through.
There is no structure. I mean, other than you drive on one side of the road or the other, but mostly. I mean, there's really no structure.
Mostly.
Like that, you just are winging it. No, there's no traffic lights.
There's no
I saw one roundabout.
I don't remember a single one.
And that's about it. Yeah, no traffic lights.
Nice.
No, a lot of horn honking. A lot of almost crashing in the back of people. I mean, it's intense, to say the least.
Yeah. People.
So it was all like.
I didn't even experience that because I was in the back most of the time. They do a little crab claw.
Little crab claw.
Crab claw.
But I will say though, I am incredibly impressed. I think why we don't drive like that is because none of us are defensive drivers. Like we're in another world when we drive, or listening to music, or I don't know, like on our phone or talking to somebody. Like they are on guard at all times because you never know who will be T-boning you, and so they need to know when to swerve or stop or whatever. So they are very defensive drivers. It's incredibly impressive and scary at the same time.
Was it mostly passenger vans like yours, or they have a lot of motorcycles and stuff too?
Oh, everything.
A lot of motorcycle. I mean, when we got to Kampala, like the major cities, there's like Toyota 4Runners and Sequoias and like Toyota, like half truck, half cab, like kind of vans. But then, I mean, when you're out in the villages, it's more like the motorcycle, like they call them bodas, and then whatever we have, which was more like their taxis, which is like a 12-passenger van. So if you are in a taxi like that, can you imagine like being the person in the very back and then having to get out at a stop? Like you're disturbing the whole vibe of the van. I can't imagine.
One guy had a camel.
Oh, I missed the camel. There was somebody with a camel?
Going around in his camel.
There was a camel in Uganda?
Yeah, it was the second day. He was walking right by
Oh, at the hotel.
going right by the hotel.
That's excellent.
Nice.
And so that's a 5-hour journey. Daniel and I were in separate vans at this point, but I didn't drink hardly anything on the flight there. And then they give us water, and I drank like half a bottle of water, and then got in the van, and everything is very vibrating, bouncy, and immediately had to go to the bathroom for a 5-hour. Like they're not stopping for at least 2 hours into this, and I had to go to the bathroom. So we had this amazingly adorable family on the trip with us, the Jarretts, and it was like mother, father, and their 4 kids who are all awesome, and their little godson, and then our medical director and me. And I was like, I feel like I might have to go to the back of this van and pee in bottle. Like, I don't want to be the one to stop this little caravan that we got going, but I'm pretty miserable at this point. So eventually we stopped. And when I say we stopped for a bathroom, it is a hole in the ground. It gives a whole new meaning to porta potty. So anybody who's ever complained and whined about the smell, the look, all of anything that has to do with the porta potty, I'm just going to tell you to thank your lucky stars next time that you go into that. You don't know anything. Nothing.
You don't know
got the dirtiest porta potty that you've ever stepped foot in has nothing on the cleanest hole in the ground, and you got
times 1,000.
Yeah. You open the door and it's like
a plague of
in your
flies
face.
just flying up at you.
Mainly because somebody just took a crap in there, and that's why. Super special. So we stopped, had one little stop, and then we went to the hotel. What was your first thoughts on the hotel, Daniel?
Oh man,
Me too.
I liked it. I liked
So
the
this
hotel
place
a
that we
lot.
stay in,
It was
Mississippi.
much better than I thought from the picture.
When did Hemingway stay there? Do you remember? He stayed there after an accident, right?
Well, it was built in 1923. I don't know when.
I think the
Hemingway
story
is there, but
goes
everything
that
is named after.
Hemingway was in some kind of an accident in either southern Sudan or Uganda, and this is where he stayed while he healed and got better. So Hemingway stayed there. It's an adorable, very simple, but very nice hotel, which was amazing when I stayed there the first time because I was expecting to sleep like on the ground or something. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this place.
So, how big is the city or the town that the hotel's in? It was like
It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell. I mean, there's no infrastructure, so you don't know how many people are actually live in this immediate area because everybody's so spread out.
I mean, do they have like stores? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, it's more
outdoor
of like a
markets that,
temporary building that they
shacks,
created
shanties, and
to
little
have a
rooftops.
market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people actually live in the shop,
Yeah.
like the front end.
I mean, you see, that's the one thing, like driving through the major cities like Kampala and things like that. You see giant leather sofas outside